I didn't really think about that. I was just a really bad state of mind. I was just want to keep going. I was already finding stuff at the time. And I found drugs. I said never went out.
Okay. At the Florida court, who pulled the gun? At the Florida court, you pulled the gun? That's when the guy he caught you up and you were like, try it, motherfucker.
What happened was he ran out. He ran out. He had a bunch of stuff inside. He was running really aggressively. I'm not trying to play victim.
All right, the court is calling 2025 CR 011309C and 2025 CR 011311A State versus Lincoln Mertens. Can I have parties announced?
Brandon Brennan for the state.
Orlando Gustino for defense.
All right, thank you. All right, you entered a plea in each of these cause numbers to aggravated robbery. According to your plea bargain agreement, punishments be assessed at a cap of 10 years in the prison. The state opposes your application for deferred adjudication. These cases will run concurrently, and it's also to run concurrent with C009793, 2025 CC 009791, and they're going to take into consideration 2025 CR 0113110110A. All right. Have both parties had a chance to review the PSI report and TAP evaluation?
I have not, Judge.
Defense has.
Any objections?
I don't have any objections.
State, do you have any witnesses?
No witnesses, Judge, this argument.
Defense, do you have any
We
witnesses?
do, Judge. We would call Jennifer,
Grubauer.
I think that's her maiden name.
Okay.
Is she on Zoom, Judge?
Yes, she is. All right.
Hold on, Judge. She can't hear you.
Okay. Ms. Grubauer, could you unmute for me, please?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. Could you start your video?
There we go. Good,
All right.
good afternoon.
All right. Any objections to the witness appearing by Zoom, State?
None from defense, Judge.
All right. Could you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. You can lower your hand. Please state your name for the record.
Jennifer Grubauer, I'm Lincoln's mom.
All right. And all right. Defense, you may proceed.
Jennifer, you said you're Lincoln's mother.
Yes.
Can you tell me a little bit about Lincoln, his life growing up?
So it was just me and the kids.
When you say
Growing
kids,
up, there are 5 children, in which he is the baby child out of all 5. It was mostly just me and them. Growing up, we didn't have help. It was pretty rough.
where was Lincoln's father?
Prison.
Okay. And so continue.
He was in and out of his life. Lincoln was 1 the first time, and then he got back out when he was 4. And unfortunately, his dad had a drug addiction, so it was a continuous cycle of in and out, in and out. Then he was finally gone for a good 6 years, up until like 2020, 2021. It's somewhere in there. I want to say 2021. And we let him come back.
Lincoln right now.
I'm sorry?
How old is Lincoln right now?
Lincoln is 19.
And he turned 19 while in Bear County.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you were saying that father was in and out and came back sometime. About how old was Lincoln when his father came back out of prison?
14, 15 years old.
Okay. During that time, I guess, prior to that, I should say, what was his life like? Was, were you doing well for yourself?
Yes, we were maintaining it. Like I said, it was just the 6 of us. It was great. It was rough, definitely tough. We had to live in some not so desirable neighborhoods, but we had each other.
Okay. And so Lincoln's father came back out of prison, and then what happened?
He was good I allowed him back in our life for what reason, I'll never be able to explain that, okay? But I let him back in his life. And Lincoln was at such an impressionable age. And he had always wanted a dad. When he was small, he told me, when I grow up, I want to be a dad because I don't have one. So when he presented that wonderful picture to me, I let him come back in his life. And during that time, he gave my child acid.
How old was he?
He was 15. And that was the beginning of my son's drug addiction. And then he also tried to, I'm sorry?
Would you be surprised that maybe it was even earlier than 15? Could have been possibly 14?
It could have been.
Okay. But he
That's just when I found out.
And so the father of Lincoln's father introduced him to acid as a teenager.
Yes,
Did Lincoln's father remain in his life?
not consistently. We split. We're divorced. He didn't go consistently, or he wasn't in there consistently. He was in and out around, kind of not. He was clearly on substances when he was coming back around. Uh, Lincoln was probably about what 15, 16 at that point.
Did Lincoln, I guess, get put in any type of bad situations because of his father?
Yes, there was a one time I know he asked his son to help him do some things he shouldn't have been doing. And then there was another time that he came with one of his girlfriends to the house to pick up my son. Lincoln was in the back seat and he picked up a meth pipe and started smoking it in front of him.
Was there ever a time that I guess Lincoln lived with his father?
No,
Was there ever a time, I guess, that he was introduced to one of Lincoln's father's girlfriends?
yes,
What was that situation? I think you explained a little bit to me before.
that would be a which one. There was a time where he grabbed what took the kids and moved them in with a drug addicted prostitute, but they were small when that happened. Lincoln was maybe, I want to say 4 or 5. It was shortly after, or maybe he was 6, somewhere around that age, 4 to 6.
And so he took Lincoln from you? How did that happen?
That was just a big old mess. He thought he was God and he just let us do whatever. I had to steal my kids back.
Introducing his girlfriend as who to Lincoln?
Mom.
He was having Lincoln call her mother?
It was not just Lincoln, everybody.
So Lincoln obviously was introduced to some really bad things by his father, but Lincoln's gone through some troubles, right?
Yes, he had a little bit of trouble. And I honestly feel like if I didn't let that man back in his life, that Lincoln would be okay.
Well, fast forward, he's an adult now, and
Mhm.
obviously been charged, and he's pled guilty to 2 counts of robbery, aggravated robbery. What was going on when that happened?
He was strung out on cocaine. He was prior to this, he was working, he had a baby on the way, he was doing really well. And then he just picked up on cocaine, I guess, and it was like it was bad. He was trying to hide it from me to where I'd hardly see him at first. But then one day I saw him and I told him, I said, "Hey, look," I said, "I can get you into rehab." He said, "I'll let you know." He wasn't ready.
And then that was shortly before he got arrested for this, right?
Yes, it was literally 2 days, maybe.
You're aware that he's applied for deferred adjudication.
Yes,
You're also aware that he could get sentenced to up to 10 years in prison, right?
yes.
What's going on with Lincoln now that you think, and obviously he's been in custody this entire time, right?
Yes.
And he's not made bond, right?
No.
But have you had time to speak with Lincoln while he's been in custody?
Yes.
What are your thoughts in regards to Lincoln now as to where Lincoln was almost a year ago?
Lincoln was not in a clear state of mind a year ago. Now he's had time. His daughter was born with him in there. He has expressed to me that he doesn't want his little girl to hate him the way my daughters hate their father. He doesn't want to do that to them. He is very remorseful.
How old is his little girl?
She's 6 months old.
Has he ever got a chance to meet her in person?
He's never met her. He's only seen her pictures and on video chat.
And she was born, I guess, while he was in custody.
Yes.
Do you think him having become a father is going to have an effect on whether he would comply with community supervision?
Actually, yes. He told me that he doesn't want any of those old friends around. He wants to be a father. He wants to work. He wants to provide for his family. And I told him since a very young age, you have a baby, you're going to take care of your baby. I fully have faith in him.
Is there anything else you'd like to tell this court in regards to Lincoln?
I feel that addiction was a huge factor, as well as some of the people that have been in his life, including his own father, which led up to this kind of behavior. I do see remorse when I speak to my son. I do hear the love he has for his daughter, and I do have 100% faith in him that he can and will be a productive member of society and take care of his family.
Now, we talked a little bit about addiction and we spoke, what are your thoughts in regards to him needing some type of drug treatment?
I feel that addiction is a disease. So if he is deferred or able to be on the deferred, I believe a drug treatment program is necessary so he can figure out why he was using and continue to use. Addicts usually use to cover up mental health issues or some kind of trauma or something like that. So once he finds the root cause, he can know what to do to prevent it in the future.
I passed the,
No questions.
I have no further questions from this witness.
All right, you may call your next witness.
I call Alexandra Tristan.
Over here. Mr. Martins. Back against the
Hello. Hi, could you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
My name is Alexandra Tristan.
Ms. Tristan, how old are you?
I am 19.
You look pretty young.
Yes.
Are you and Lincoln the same age?
Basically, yeah.
Okay. And how do you know Lincoln?
I met him in 2024. I met him through my
And what's your relationship with Lincoln?
mom and dad.
Do you all currently have a child together?
Yes.
How old is your baby?
My
And are you hoping that he can be able to care for your child? What was going on, I guess, right when he was arrested?
Well, got arrested 3 days after my birthday. And well, I could say like probably like 2 or 3 months before he got arrested, that's when I noticed he had an addiction to cocaine. And I would tell him like, you need to stop, it's not okay. But I couldn't control him, so I just, after telling him so much, I let him be. And on my birthday, I don't know, but he went and he was like, it's the last time I'm gonna do this and that. And on my birthday, I thought he was gonna spend the day with me, but he didn't. And I went to my family's house, and like I was upset with him because like I felt like he took that over me, and I was pregnant at the time. And well, I kind of like stayed away because I wanted him to come to me. I knew if he was with me, if he wasn't around his friends, if he wasn't around me, that he would be too, he wouldn't want to go out and do drugs.
Let me ask you a little bit. I guess if you were on community supervision, would he be living with you or with his mother? Y'all would both be living with his mother. Does mom help you with the child? Okay.
Yes, right now. My family helped. Well, I work over there by them now, so I've been staying over there.
Okay. Are you hoping that he's able to help raise this child?
Our baby, he's a good person. I know everything is unfortunate. I know what he's thinking for is very bad, but Lincoln is not that type of person. He's a good person. He's a hardworking man. He's really like, I know I can only say it, but
Okay.
like, I've seen him do it before. I've seen him get better before. When I met him, he got out of juvenile and he finished his probation. He was clean, never failed a drug test. I know he can do it if he's given the opportunity.
Do you think that having a child is going to help him stay clean?
I know.
What's that?
Before we had a baby, before when we first met, he would always tell me how he wanted his dad wanted to just have a kid and take care of him because we don't have fathers. So
You don't either.
my dad is in jail.
You pass the witness.
So you're saying that, is it the 6-month-old boy, girl? It's a girl? Okay. So she's taken care of right now, right?
I just know, like, I just want her to know me. Like, he went to jail, and like 2 days after that, I felt her move from my bed. I didn't have him there, and like people always he's like, if I didn't have him, I would go to him, and I just haven't had him, and I didn't have him the whole time. I wanted to be there for this.
No further questions. Pass witness.
I have no further questions. Very good.
All right, thank you for coming down and giving me some insight. Any other witnesses?
Yes, Judge. I believe Mr. Mertens would like to speak.
All right, so if you want to speak, what that means is that you will be subjected to cross-examination. So that means that the state will have a chance to ask you questions. You understand?
Yes.
So do you still wish to speak? All right, can you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record. All right, defense, you may proceed.
Lincoln, how old are you?
19.
19 years old. What's your education level like? And I'll need you to speak up. And you obviously heard your mom speak a little bit about your father. Is there anything you'd like to add about your upbringing that maybe your mother may have?
He was a father figure I had. He was proud into. That's just who I looked up to. It's just father figure I had. So when he got out, I was hanging around with him. He was committing crimes, doing drugs.
How old were you when he got out? He also got out, I guess, when you're about 4 or 6. Is that right? And do you recall living with him and a prostitute? What was that like? That experience? Did it have an effect on you when you were young? How old were you when you were witnessing that? Did you know what was going on? You just knew that they were smoking. How do you think that affected your path in life?
That's all I see growing up.
Now you've had some problems yourself as a juvenile, right? Now you're an adult, committed similar crimes, breaking into cars, right? And you acknowledge that you had a weapon that day, right?
Yes.
Where'd that weapon come from?
One of the cars.
So you're breaking into cars and you found a weapon.
Yes.
One of these individuals said, that he was trying to stop you from breaking into the car, right? What were your intentions?
That time I was just breaking into the truck. People introduced me to it. It's just easy. I wasn't trying to harm people. I wasn't trying to rob people. I was breaking in the car, go into the car, take stuff. I wasn't acting aggressive when I was talking to the person. What I told him was I was trying to get the keys out of the car. My mom left me. I wasn't trying to be aggressive.
Well, he did say that you sound like you threatened him, right?
I didn't.
Well, so let's be a little fair here. Had you been using drugs? How much? And
Probably just about 5 grams. I was up for 3 days straight.
and we didn't provide the court with the picture, but you saw pictures of yourself from that day. You saw video of yourself from that day, right?
Yes.
How would you describe yourself?
My teeth were all bloody and I was on drugs really bad. Look back at that.
Was your hair?
My hair was crazy.
How do you feel towards these people that y'all stole from?
I feel sorry. I didn't mean for this to happen. I'm scared. I didn't have any problem. Just happened so fast. I'm sorry. If I was there here right now, I would say I'm sorry myself.
What have you learned while you've been in custody? How long have you been in custody?
A year. Pressure for a year.
Since June? Is that when it is?
June 26th.
So it's almost a year.
Yeah, about a year.
And while you've been in there, you had a lot of time to reflect. And what is it you want to do with your life?
I just want to show her that I'm a better person. That if this has really changed me. That I want to get my high school diploma, get a job. I want to show her that I can do better. Pay off my tickets, get a license. I want to live like a regular person, regular woman. I don't want to do crime. I don't want to do drugs. I just want to be there for my daughter.
Now, you've obviously been in custody, so you haven't gone any type of drug treatment, have you?
No.
What do you think about drug treatment?
I think it'd be amazing to go to drug treatment. Just learn anything about drugs. Just never want to do drugs. I'd be constant just treatment.
You think it'd be nice?
Yeah, it'd be definitely helpful.
Helpful. Okay. Is there anything that you feel like you want to tell the court?
Yes.
What's that?
Because I was on drugs really bad.
You need to look at the court. I mean, you're obviously talking to the judge.
I was on drugs really bad. I was in a state of mind. Around the wrong crowd. I have a daughter to live for now. I have somebody to go home to. I have something to keep me out of trouble. I just want to be a father to her. I want to love her. I want to give her the world. I just want to be there for her. Be there for my girlfriend.
But when people say they're hanging around with the wrong crowd, you know what ends up happening? If the crowd were to come in here, they would tell me they were hanging around with the wrong crowd. And if I asked them, well, who are these people in the wrong crowd? They would probably give me your name. Because a lot of people will say, I was just hanging around with the wrong crowd and everybody's doing wrong. You understand? Any questions?
Pass the witness, judge.
Questions?
Let me ask you, June 26th was a bad day, wasn't it?
Yeah.
How did it start?
So I was working on my car. My friend wanted to go out.
Who's your friend?
Okay. Yeah. And I told him, no, I don't want to go out. I just want to finish working on my car. I stayed under my car and pulled up in front of the house. I went out. I was already on drugs for 2 days prior to that. Working on my car, I was up for 2 days straight.
What kind of drugs were you on, man?
I was on cocaine. And nothing.
All right. Keep going, man.
We went out. So I wasn't thinking. I was just trying to make money to fix my car. It was just, that's all I was.
What do you mean it all happened so fast? Like you jumped in the car, y'all went to the Florida court first, right? This was at like 7:10, 7:20 in the morning, right? So 7:20 in the morning was when the Florida court thing went down. What happened after that?
I was going home. I went home.
Where's home at?
Home is at my mom's house. I went home, went there, and they separated. Separated from me. Now I went to his house. When I went to his house, I was surrounded by a bunch of cops and stuff.
And by him, what do you mean?
My co-defendant,
Who's your co-defendant? What name and agent? You weren't at the HEB over in Madera in 1604? How many places did you go to that day?
a lot.
How many cars
I
did
don't
you get?
remember.
Okay, are we talking 5, 6, 7, dozen?
Myself, I probably did like 3.
3? Okay. How many did your co-defendants do?
Uh,
Give me an estimate. Yes. 10. So you hit about like 13 cars between the three of y'all.
Yeah.
Okay, and you were with them this whole time they were hitting cars. Okay. And you didn't think for a moment, maybe we need to cut, stop? When did you think
But
that?
I didn't really think about that. I was just a really bad state of mind. I was just want to keep going. I was already finding stuff at the I was on drugs at 29. Just kept going. I should never went out.
Okay. At the Florida court, who pulled the gun? At the Florida court, you pulled the gun? That's when the guy he caught you up and you were like, try it, motherfucker.
What happened was he ran out. He ran out. He had a bunch of stuff inside. He was running really aggressively. I'm not trying to play victim. I'm not a victim. I'm not trying to play. I'm not trying to be. You know, he had a bunch of stuff in his hand. Threw it all out of his hand and running at me aggressively. So I felt like he was gonna hit me. The only reason why I felt like it was because I felt like he was gonna hit me.
Do you think that's kind of justified? Cause you were breaking into his
I know I
truck,
was in
bro.
the wrong. I know. I
Yeah.
deserve.
Okay.
I would have deserved it. It's just.
Are you surprised that this is an aggravated robbery?
No.
What do you think this was?
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't think I was robbing people. I wasn't intentionally robbing people.
But when you were confronted, you pulled it down, we're like, try it, motherfucker.
He was being aggressive. You can see my video footage running at.
Okay.
That's the way I see it.
So, what are your drugs? I think expensive, right? How much is it? That's half and half. You be able to kick that and take care of the bigger bro? Is that because you've been in jail the whole time?
I've been on these stops for this stuff. I need to go to rehab. I did tell my mom that I want to go to rehab. I told her that I was just ready to go. I knew I had to get back on. We just felt addicted. I felt so bad. That's why I did. I'll go to the garage when I was doing it. I wouldn't be around. I wouldn't be around there. I wouldn't be around my mom. I'd be hiding from them because I was ashamed of it. But I had so bad. I fixed it.
So it sounds like mama was telling you, you need to kick the habit. And then girlfriend's telling you, you need to kick the habit, right? Okay, but what ultimately helped you kick the habit?
I'm sober. I got sober. And I look back at myself. I look back at how.
When and where were you when you made the decision to be sober? When you got popped. After you're 26, on the core, got hit about 13 or so cars. You're driving back to Weston, right? Westwoods? Okay. Were you in a stolen vehicle at the time?
Yes.
Okay. And I think there was like a little bit of a chase there, right? Where the cops were trying to stop you? Did you stop?
Yeah, I ended up stopping. I did run a little while. And then I ended up stopping because I noticed I had a person on me. I ended up stopping and surrendering.
Is that when you ditched the gun? Is that the gun that you found in the cars? Is that the gun that you were using to threaten that guy that was run up on you? Oh, so there were 2 guns. So you had the gun that you got from the
I
cars.
found out what happened.
Okay, and the gun that you got afterwards. Okay, so there were 2 guns? Okay. You broke into 13 cars, so you ended up with 13 people's lives. What would you say to them? They were talking, Nana was talking about your juvie stuff. Did you get pop for UUV and burglary vehicles from the juvie?
Not very easy.
Lawful use? Okay. So saying your first rodeo is a part. That's been good. I'll pass on this.
All right, any further questions?
No, Judge.
All right, and correct me if I'm wrong. I think in the stipulation, did it say they were connected to 18 burglary vehicles or just 13?
Judge, if I may, I have a printout of some of the simulations from here.
I think there were some that I had noticed in the reports they couldn't necessarily identify as being
I think they were suspected,
right.
but there were 2 confirmed incidents.
There was, and it being San Antonio, we have no idea as to.
Yeah.
But I think he's been forthcoming and see how many he actually thought they total were involved in.
All right. So I've heard all of the evidence that's been presented. I've reviewed and I want you to know that I do keep an open mind about everything, and I take in consideration everything that is presented to me. And, it's regretful that your father was allowed back in your life, that you were subjected to certain things as a child that you should not be subjected to. That's your parents' fault. But I'm considering your age. But when you read the stipulations for this, the fact that you all were breaking into somebody's vehicle and then that person comes along and just, hey, what are y'all doing? Leave my vehicle alone. And then they get a gun pointed at them. That's not good. You understand? All right. So in each cause number, the court is going to deny your applications. The court is going to find you guilty. There's an affirmative finding of deadly weapon. The court will give you credit for any time served. Each case will run concurrently, and it also will run concurrently with 2025 CC 009793 and 2025 CC 009791. Take in consideration 2025 CR 0113110A. There's to be no contact with Adrian Hernandez or Oscar Carvajal Jr. There's to be no unsupervised contact with minors. The court will request the therapeutic community. Therapeutic community does not increase the time that you are in custody. It's really designed to help rehabilitate you. And I'll put in the judgment, the therapeutic community is for mental health as well as drug addiction. Now, I do not have jurisdiction to force them to place you in that program, but they're going to see in the judgment that I think it's appropriate for you to be in the program, and you will have to request it as well. If you don't request it, they definitely will not consider you. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right. And each cause number, the court will sentence you to 8 years in the prison. Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal in each of these cause numbers? Did you understand it and sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Because these are plea bargain agreements, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because these are felony convictions, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what that is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand? All right. So we can go off the record. Here's the thing. Have I spent time in prison? No. And I know this is probably hitting you hard right now, but just know this is not the end of your life, right? You can still do great things. You can still be in your child's life, but you're going to have to make some changes and make sure that you stay on the path to, I'm getting my GED at the prison. Guess what? You can get your GED. You can get a college degree. You can get a trade. And people that I've represented before as a defense attorney, I always tell them the best trade that they can get, because you always need people. Welding. You always need a welder. And your attorney will tell you welding pays great money. You can really support a family on that. So just make sure you keep your head down and that you work on yourself, getting your degrees, taking your parenting classes, and realize when you're released from prison, maybe she's going to wait for you, maybe not. But regardless of whether she waits for you or not, you still have your daughter. Okay? All right, good luck to you. Who's here on Charles Atwell? All right, court is calling 2025 CR 013125, State versus Charles Atwell. Can I have parties announced?
It's Fernando Cortez from Mr. Award.
And are you Mr. Atwell?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you entered a plea of guilty to count 2, counts 1, and the enhancements were waived without objection. According to your plea bargain agreement, punishment is to be assessed at 7 years in the prison. The state is opposed to your application, and there's to be a $1,200 fine. Have both parties had a chance to review the PSI report?
Yes, sir.
And the mental health screening?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any objections to either of those?
None from the thing.
All right, any witnesses?
None from the thing.
All right, then the court will hear argument. States you're opposed?
Yes, Judge, stems from Mr. Atwell's criminal history. Mr. Atwell has engaged with the criminal justice system quite a bit. He has convictions for drug cases, so that is obviously an issue for him. However, our issue stems from the fact that Mr. Atwell has been given one chance at probation. It was a federal probation.
when he was given that chance, he did have 2 violations and subsequently was revoked and sentenced. That was most recently in 2018. But prior to that, he had 2 convictions on drug cases where he did 3 years in TC. In reviewing the PSI, Judge Mr. Atwell minimizes his responsibility. He conflicts with the stipulations that he agreed to and that the court has knowledge of. He states that the vehicle wasn't his, therefore he was not aware of the narcotics. However, that conflicts with what happened on this scene. Judge, I don't think he would be a good candidate for probation, nor do I think he's worthy of it. He is a habitual offender and continues to make choices that place him into this position that allow him to be criminalizing himself by using drugs and abusing drugs, and as well as the community he's admitted to selling in the past. So because of that, I would ask that you deny his applications and sentence him to 7 years.
Defense.
Judge, I know that's gonna sound a little crazy, but I'm kind of along with the state to just, because of his drug past in this report, none of it involved any violence, at least I can say that. He's got a drug problem and obviously a problem selling drugs, using drugs. I don't know that he'd be that great on probation, quite frankly, based on all of this in that report. If the court were to grant him that, certainly Mr. Atwell has mental health issues, and the mental health initiative is recommended for him. I think that he's sufficiently motivated for it, because this gentleman he cannot tolerate being in custody without constant phone calls, constant communication. I know that he doesn't want to be in jail, and that is probably the biggest motivator for him. I don't know that the motivation would be to clean up and all that. I think the motivation would be jail. But if he is able to stay clean, motivated by not coming to jail and complies, that's what he needs to do. Stay away from drugs and don't pick up any more offenses. I think he's properly motivated, but I don't know that the report and all that kind of shows us that. The court would be incredibly merciful to give him probation, but based on that report, I think it would be wisest for me to request that the court consider this mental issue with him, his drug habits, his addictions apparently, but not a violent nature. Just doesn't appear to be anything violent about him. He seems to do these things to himself.
Okay, I'm so sorry to interrupt your argument. Of course, I'm multitasking. And I was just thinking, am I wrong? But it says here that supposedly he received 366 months in federal prison. That can't be right. Okay, I thought I was like, that's 30 years. What? You didn't do 30 years in federal prison, did you? Okay. So that should be a correction to 36 months. I'm sorry, you can continue.
Thank you, Judge, for that. And because of that, I would plead to the court that obviously I would essentially be begging the court to give him probation, but I think a more realistic approach at this point would be to plead to the court, because of the lack of violence, weapons, anything like that in his past, just the things that he seems to be doing to himself, that the court consider giving him 2 to 3 years prison time, Judge. Thank you. Oh,
there's something you wanted to say?
I just was wanting to apologize. Sorry, man. It just.
Here's the thing, and state, here's the thing for the court. Yes, looking at your history, you definitely have a drug problem. Looking at your history with the possession with intent to distribute methamphetamines, and it's federal prison, and they're giving you 3 years, which tells me there was a lot of downward departure for some reason. I don't know, because I don't see that, but based upon that. And then you have the evading arrest detention with the vehicle. And it seems that every one of your sentences, the possessions from 2012 and 2013, there was just a plea of guilty and you accepted time of 3 years. And then you have the evading arrests, you pled guilty and you accepted 2 years for that. The only one that you had supervised release, and then there was a probation violation with regards to the federal side, and that was in 2014. And they sentenced you to 3 years. So you have choices. And here are your choices. One, I can grant your application, but you're going into inpatient treatment, so you will not be released or until you complete your inpatient treatment. And it's probably going to end up being safe P. We can do a referral to felony drug court, but they want dual diagnosis outpatient treatment, but you need inpatient treatment. So we can do that, or either I will sentence you to 7 years. What do you want?
CP.
This is what the court will do then. I see it's moving slow. All right. Court is finding you guilty. Court will sentence you to 7 years in the prison, suspended and probated. How long are you requesting, state? All right. Suspended and probated for 7 years. There's a $1,200 fine. That will be probated. Proof of employment within 45 days of release. No employment as a home health care provider or with minors. There is to be in custody, referral to felony drug court. If not accepted, then safe P, mixed supervision, field visits 1 time per month for 6 months upon release, 300 hours of community service restitution. 1 hour will be deducted for every sober support meeting that is completed. Regular reporting by Zoom or in person, regular UAs. Probation, is there anything else? Oh, I'm so sorry. One final thing. There is to be restitution to the Bear County Crime Lab for drug testing, and it's $120. Is there anything else you need from the court to be successful?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it?
Yes.
Because it's a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what that is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, remember this day, because you wanted probation, you said you were going to do it. So when it starts getting hard, which it will, just remember this day. Okay?
I will, Your Honor. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Good luck to you.
As this sentencing hearing came to an end, Judge Boyd delivered a message that went beyond the prison sentence itself. While the court recognized the defendant's addiction, his remorse, and his desire to become a better father, it also emphasized that bringing a firearm into a crime created a level of danger that could not be overlooked. Rather than ending with condemnation alone, the judge encouraged him to use the years ahead to change the direction of his life, earning his GED, learning a trade, overcoming addiction, and preparing for the day he could return to his daughter as a different person. It was a reminder that while the justice system imposes consequences, rehabilitation remains possible for those willing to do the work. Cases like this provide an important educational look at how judges balance accountability, addiction, public safety, and the possibility of redemption when deciding a sentence. Subscribe to follow this case and see whether the defendant completes the court-recommended therapeutic community program and what future legal developments or post-release progress may follow after his 8-year sentence.